Jackie's garden.
All right. Hello, I'm back.
Hello.
Welcome
Is
back.
everyone ready to start?
I think we're good to go. Let's do this.
Perfect, everyone. Okay, thank you so much for being here for my first Gaming Masters session. This is a homebrew campaign, so there are homebrew elements, and there are I have incorporated lore of traditional D&D into my world as one does, but yeah, I really am excited for you guys to try out Terrantel. So, let's begin. Welcome to the land of Terrantel. Long ago, gods and goddesses roamed the material plane alongside their humanoid creations, using the realm of Terrantel as a portkey to travel to and from the celestial plane. Terrantel acted as a fulcrum for these deities, allowing all forms of magic to pour into the earth, water, land, and sky. And during this time, there was peace. However, peace could not be maintained once other villainous forces became aware of this peaceful haven. Recognizing the threat their presence had, the gods and goddesses banished themselves from the material plane, sealing the portal so that no other evil creatures would threaten the land. Although this did not completely end all evil in the world, the land was blessed with its first known instance of Terrantel's main export to this day, the lapis berry. Learned scholars claim the lapis berry to be an untapped fruit of potential, yielding the possible solutions to modern-day alchemy mysteries. Clerics profess this fruit to be the last gift to the mortal race before the Great Banishment, and therefore should be cherished, not monetized. However one looks at it, the lapis berry is everywhere, but recently markets have been running out of stock. Trader prices are running higher, and the lapis berry output is starting to dwindle. What could be the cause of this, and how can it be fixed? We start off by scanning the sky with a bird's eye view looking across the weaving dunes of the desertous Serpent's Pass. We zoom in to a slow-moving, trudging figure bearing the rays of the sky on their worn, sun-bleached cloak and hood. The harsh, hot winds that scatter the tips of the sand dunes hit this figure, brushing back his cloak to reveal toned, iron, metallic-like skin, his body decorated with various weaponry. Ben, would you like to describe your character?
Yes, hello. Hi, my name is Wejuve. I'm from the Iron Hunters clan in the Northern Mountains. I'm a 5'11", 200-pound earth genasi with rough, iron-like skin. The scars on my face and back have a rust-like consistency. My two weapons of choice is the glaive and my great axe, which I carry slung across my back parallel to each other. My half-chest plate covers my upper right shoulder and chest, while my circular shield is strapped to my left forearm. I'm wearing a dark pair of tan pants that are torn from my many days of traveling, and I have a thin white cloak covering my whole body, concealing my weapons and to protect me from the desert sun.
As the hot rays of the sun blur the landscape ahead of you, the sand pulsing with a radiating heat, causing the dunes to look like waves of gold ahead of you, a searing headache begins to penetrate the sides and front of your cranium. Water. You need water. In the distance, you start to see the blurred waves of greenery, the dunes receding back, and the mountainous ridges frame the horizon. Your destination was coming closer to you. You'd made it this far, there was no turning back. You needed answers for your people, for your fallen comrades, and for your allies in the Fire Genasi Kingdom. War was coming. We shrink away from the Serpent's Pass to cut to the rolling hills of the Shepherd's Bluff. Our view of the wondrous landscape panning over the various deciduous trees and long grass valleys. The trees surrounding this quiet glen hold plentiful fruits, all of which are harvested and cultured by various humanoids that live in this peaceful melting pot community. Since the discovery of this tiny pocket of heaven, the quaint community of halflings, half-elves, and other nomadic humanoids have specialized the land to cultivate cattle and herds, helping to produce the best and most well-known grass-raised meat and dairy products in the land. We zoom into the main town of Brushwood, where the Grassberry family is setting up shop for the day. Bustling about the small store are two young twin halflings, racing to try and not get caught by their father, which of whom is trying to entice them to sit still with a pop-up storybook. Above the storefront in the upstairs residential home of the Grassberries is Mrs. Grassberry, frantically trying her best to clean up the kitchen from the breakfast her family had had earlier that morning. Rook, Rixon, stop running around the store. You'll knock over the produce. You hear the footsteps stop from downstairs and the unified sound of the twins calling up the stairs. Sorry, Mom. Goodness gracious. Willow, can you help me clean up the family table before we open up for the day? Your sister's left without telling me, and the store opens in less than an hour. Keisla, can you describe your character for me?
Okay, so Willow is a stout and plucky halfling. Standing at 3 feet, Willow makes her presence known by her cheery voice and go-lucky attitude. She wears an oversized black hat covered in silver stars and a black flowy dress covered in the same stars. Willow is a self-trained wizard and helps her parents in their shop as well.
Oh my goodness, Willow, there's so much stuff everywhere. There's wedding plans for your sister Rose's wedding. She got engaged literally a month ago, and the wedding is next month. This is too fast. You know what I talk about. Relationships in this. You gotta wait out. You gotta wait it out. See what red flags are there. But no, we're just going to go straight to the wedding. Ugh.
So Willow comes in and she starts grabbing all the dishes off of the table. I know, Mom, I know, but not everyone just does those things. Sometimes you fall in love and you just gotta roll with it. Could you please calm down a little bit? We need to work on breakfast.
You're right. Goodness gracious, just the shop isn't doing well. We've been trying to get lapsisberry for over a week now, and we haven't heard anything from the traders. They're as soon as they get to our village, they're all out of lapsisberry. And as you guys are talking from downstairs, you hear your two sisters come in. Oh my God! Look at this, guys! Look at this poster. So your sisters Rose and Aspen come back with a help wanted poster. And they run upstairs to you and your mother. And the poster reads, Adventurers needed. Payment, 50 gold pieces. Half-elf Aleecia Thistle reported missing. Last seen, Forbidden Forest in Foxtrot Village. Adventurers interested must meet at Mud's Tavern and wait to be collected by solicitor, Mr. Gregory Thistle. Guys, this is Aleecia. She was supposed to be my maid of honor. What is this? Oh my God. Okay, calm down, Rose. Oh my goodness. Not everything's about you. Oh my God, Aleecia. Willow, you used to play with her when you were younger. Oh my God, this is dreadful. You have to go visit them. You have to make sure everything's all right.
So Willow's eyes just sparkle with excitement, and she says, "Oh yes, of course, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go right now." And she runs to her room and starts packing a bag. I promise, I'll be there. I'll be there later today. I'm gonna go save everyone. It's gonna be fantastic, Mom. Don't even worry about it, and I'll save the wedding too. Okay, Rose?
Okay, well, I appreciate that, but make sure that she doesn't have any scars on her face, okay? For pictures, we need to make sure everyone is pristine, but not hotter than me.
Okay, Rose, I'll make sure she might have a slight marring of her face so she's not more attractive than you, but not too bad of a marring of face, okay?
This is why you're my favorite sister. Aspen gives a very hard side eye to Rose. Anyway, your mother then comes into your room and says, I know that you've been wanting to be an adventurer, but please be careful. A missing girl is not something to just kind of brush to the side, okay? Just be careful.
Mom, Willow puts a hand on her mom's shoulder. I have magic on my side. I've been practicing for this. I've been waiting for my moment. I know I can do this. Don't worry about me. I've got this.
Okay then. Best of luck. We fast forward to give our adventurers some time to travel to the destination of this great plea. We focus on Foxtrot Village, a small human settlement that has slowly become the largest agriculture orchard producing the widely known and loved lapsisberry plant, native to the land of Terrantel. Because of the rich soil brought in by the local river, the soils around these lands have graced these folk with plentiful crops and bountiful harvests. And yet, the town continues to struggle. Most of the earnings from harvest are channeled into the local church to celebrate the god Eidos, creator of humans. Or the produce used to feed the village is exported to other cities to maintain trade peace. Encircling this town like a crescent moon is the Forbidden Forests, the natural landmark dividing this human territory from the elven state up north. Although the fields surrounding the town are decorated with rows of blooming agricultural growth, the town itself remains rugged and poorly maintained. The cobblestone roads are laid down unevenly, many of the homes have rotted structures, and there is constant thievery in the streets of this small village. As we scan the town, a blurred combination of pink and black darts across the foggy streets, the faint sound of jingling necklaces echoing after this mysterious figure. Following shortly after her, two well-dressed men with large bloating guts wheeze after her, losing her in the fog. Rinley, I can't believe you allowed a commoner to steal such beautiful jewelry from our wagon. Well, I can't believe you think I'd actually do anything to stop a thief. They could have killed me. You wimp. You sissy. They start petty slapping each other in the middle of the streets. Hannah, while in the cloak of shadows, describe your character.
My character's name is Navi. She's a bright young girl who's a parakeet aracacra. She has beautiful, vivid, bright pink feathers, and her wings are large, and the feathers fade from bright pink to white at the tip. And she has a beautiful pink undertone to her skin. She doesn't have any hair, but has a beautiful crown of feathers that fade from white to pink to orange. She has bird-like facial features with a gray beak. She has parakeet-like feet in a gray color with long, sharp talons, the perfect weapon. She wears a magenta skirt that's long in the back and short in the front, with a tight, dark brown bodice and a magenta cloak that wraps around her shoulders with a large hood to conceal her identity. Although her talons are a good weapon, she also carries a short sword which is slung across her back and a dagger which she conceals at her hip under her cloak. Although she was small, she is mighty from a rough childhood, and it helped her to become strong, capable, and a cunning young woman. She is in Foxtrot Village looking for work, but has been unsuccessful at finding any because of her reputation of being a thief.
So as the two men pathetically fight it out in the middle of the streets, you see 4 burglars start to mosey their way out and confront the 2 rich men. As they surround these 2 rich fat men, they mention, and you can overhear this, "Aye, that job posting was going to make us go to the Forbidden Forest for 50 gold pieces. I bet I could get that money with your shirt. Take it off." So you're currently in an alleyway. You are behind a rotted frame of a building, and over to your left, just behind the corner, that's where the scene is happening. So down this alleyway to your right, you see that it opens up to another street, and just across from that is a tavern.
Yeah, I'll go to the tavern.
Okay. So you are passing down this alleyway, and you see this soggy paper poster barely clinging to the wall, and on it talks about the rewards that these goons were talking about, and the name of the tavern on the poster matches the one that you're heading towards. Do you take the poster with you, or do you leave it there?
Kind of take it off the wall, and I'll just slip it under my cloak just in case I need it later.
Perfect, and you head that way. Finally, we come to Mud's Tavern, where above the local bar and banter, in one of the many rooms available for its various patrons, sits a lone high elf in her room, her hands firmly grasping a crinkled note as she rereads its content, her eyes fixated on the elegant script. To her right, on the unmade bed, is the help wanted poster detailing that tonight is the night she'd meet the solicitor, who has desperately asked for aid. Beside her feet rest piles of pillows, stripped from the bed, and around her small frame bounces an adorable, fluffy little griffin, as it plays on the bedsheets and tumbles off the side of the bed, only to be caught by the fluffy pillows by her feet. Matcheep, can you describe your character for us?
Of course I can. So, my name is Aelin. I am a high elf paladin with an oath to serve and protect those who can't protect themselves. At least I think that's who I am. I had some memory problems a couple months back after a near death or post-death experience, however you want to call it. And I'm out trying to find myself. My parents don't want me to be here, but here I am. And I was told to bring my little micro griffin along. I stand at about 6 feet tall, and I have gray eyes and silver iridescent hair. I'm about 25 years old, so fairly young for a high elf, and I am just trying my best to find out who I am and where I'm meant to be.
Very nice. So while you're up in your room, your little griffin is bouncing along your feet, completely oblivious to the turmoil that's happening inside you. You're rereading this letter. Do you care to share the contents of the letter, or are you in your head right now? What is Aelin thinking?
Aelin is just currently gripping the paper very, very hard, and there's some radiant light coming out of her hands. and I can definitely read the letter out loud. So, it says, "To my dearest and only daughter, please be careful on your journeys. Although the cleric Dane approved the idea of you going out on your own to experience new things, I remain hesitant, and you know this. I nonetheless am optimistic that through your findings and time away from home, Cleric Dane will be working tirelessly to figure out how to restore your memories." I just can't read. Sorry, my bad. "Regardless of the time it takes, remember that you are loved. Love your mother. P.S. I will keep your violin polished for you when you return home." So I am just gripping this letter, a little bit of radiant light coming from my hands, because I do not feel like this daughter that they expect me to be. And I kind of look down at my little griffin and I say, "Tempest, what do we do here, bud? We come to find a work. What are we up to here?"
Me. And little Tempest just kind of like shrugs his little wings, and he tries to crawl back up onto the bed, and he launches himself off, and in a little spiral kind of glides back down onto the pillows, and then looks up at you like, "That was cool, right?"
I just kind of pat him on the head. Good job, buddy. Good job. You did it.
Aelin, you are currently in one of the rooms upstairs from the tavern. Your parents had paid for a carriage ride and stay here at the tavern for you to try and make this adventure of yours as easy as possible, considering the accident that happened months prior. So as you exit your room, you come to this lobby area where there is a small stack, a very small library of random books that reads in a small sign, "Take one, leave one." The stairs are in the top left corner, so you can choose to go straight down to the bar and tavern, or you can choose to stay up here. What would you like to do?
Can I look and see if there are any books that would interest me?
Sure. So, yeah, you can, so you're going to go to the library, the little mini library. I want to have you roll 1d6, the first roll of the campaign.
That's going to be a 4.
A 4. Okay. So, you scour the library and you're noticing various like sizes of these books. Some of them are intricately made with leather. Other ones are just like paperbacks. There's some like magazines in there as well. But you come across this dark, rich purple that has a golden embroidery on it, and you pull it out, and the book is called "The Origin of the Lapsusberry: The Great Banishment," and it appears to be some type of biology book based off of the origin of the lapsusberry. What would you like to do with it?
Well, I would like to take it, but it says take one, leave one, right?
You can do a sleight of hand check if you would like.
Is there anyone around me?
I have a suggestion. You have that letter. Does that count as a
I just leave the letter behind. I'm like, yeah, I don't need this. Thank you.
Do it. Heck yeah. You can do it.
I leave my letter behind. I'm
you
like,
leave
yeah,
the
you go.
freaking letter. Okay, so you take this ornate book and out of just the kindness and morality of your heart, you see this beaten sign, and instead of being a crook and putting it away in your bag without leaving one, you take the crinkled letter that your mother gave you and you just shove it back into the library.
Where it belongs.
Where it belongs. Great. Okay. So, anything else you want to do up here?
No, I think that's it.
Okay.
So I think I'll just head downstairs.
At this time, we have our other adventurers coming into the scene. We have, remind me how to pronounce it again, Wedjub? Wedjub. Okay. We have Wedjub, Willow, and Navi entering into the scene. You guys come into a bustling tavern with multiple patrons, a lot of farmers here just to get a drink. And there at the left side of the tavern is a half-orc bartender. There are some tables that are vacant if you guys would like to sit down and talk. What would you guys like to do? You have just entered Mud's Tavern. You know that tonight is the night that the solicitor, Mr. Thistle, will be here to retrieve you. You just have to sit and wait.
Awesome. I'd like to go to the far side over here and request a large ale.
Okay, so as you approach the bar, the half-orc bartender looks over to you and kind of looks you up and down and says, "Well, good day there. It's been a long time since I've seen a Genasi in these parts. What brings you to town? You want an ale?"
Just give me the largest ale. It's been a very long trip, and I taste the sand in my mouth. We can talk later. Thank you, though.
I got it. You came from Serpent's Pass. Do you want some water first? Before you get into some alcohol?
Water will make me rust right now. I prefer just some alcohol.
I forgot. Sorry. So, she then takes out this giant glass boot-like mug, not pitchers, but she starts to fill it up with a golden brew and fills it to the top and wipes off whatever foam there is and just sets it in front of you. That'd be the Eidos brew, one of the most reliable type of drinks that you could get here in Foxtrot Village.
I take the drink, I smack it against the the table, and I drink all of it. And I ask, "Do you have anything stronger?"
Stronger?
I need stronger.
I got something stronger. So while she's getting drinks, Willow and Navi, where would you like to go?
So on the flyer, do we get a description of what this? It's Mr. Thistleberry, right?
Mr. Thistle.
Oh, Mr. Thistle, sorry. Do we get like a description, or is it like anything that says, "Hey, I'm gonna be at this inn at midnight" or anything like that?
So the flyer itself says that you would meet at Mud's Tavern to be collected by the solicitor, Mr. Gregory Thistle. I don't know how dates would work specifically in this time frame, but you would know that normally help wanted posters give adventurers and give people around the continent around a week's time to get to that location. So it has been 7 days since that poster had been posted.
Okay. Willow would like to try and do like a perception check or something to see if I can find someone who looks like they're a Mr. Thistle.
Okay, perfect. So you can go ahead and roll a perception check.
Oh wait. So I rolled a 15 and I get no bonus, so it's a 15.
Okay. So you have you get a 15. So Willow, because you know, and I forgot about this, you know the Thistle family, you would know that Grandpa Gregory Thistle is an elderly man who operates the large Lapsusberry farm here in town. And as you look around, even though it's been a while since you've seen him, everyone else here looks middle-aged and a bit too young to be the grandfather of your friend Aleecia. So he's not currently here, but you can stay posted until he arrives.
Okay. Is there a table that's halfling size friendly?
I think the best would be at the bar, because the bar stools are at least high enough that you can be at the table, but everywhere else, I think your nose would be the same height as the table.
Perfect. Okay. I'm just gonna go wander over to the bar stools and hoist myself up and just kind of chill. I'm excited. I'm waiting.
Perfect. Navi, what are you doing?
Follow into the bar, and I'm gonna go on the furthest side closest to the door so that I can keep watch to see when Mr. Thistle walks in.
Weejube, you asked for something stronger. So, the half-orc, turns around and she starts, mixing this concoction of, orange and brown, and she, shakes it up, and you can visibly see the shaker, get hotter as she shakes it. And she pours it into this little shot glass for you, and you can see a bit of smoke. So then she hands it to you and says, "You want it stronger."
Oh, well, this looks very good. You at the end table. What is your name?
Are you talking to me?
Yes, you. The little halfling. What is your name?
Willow. Willow is my name.
Oh, well, nice to meet you. Would you like a shot as well? This looks maybe get Willow one. Maybe a quarter shot, just a tiny little bit, just a little drop, please. But when my friend gets over here, then I'll enjoy this.
Oh, okay. Well, my mom always told me to have good manners, so sure. I'll hop a little closer. So I'm gonna hop from bar stool to bar stool, so we're sitting to each other now. I'm like, Wow, okay. This is okay. I've never had an alcoholic beverage before today, so this is gonna be exciting.
Oh, this will be a good one for you.
The half-orc looks to you like, I give you something strong and you give it to a little halfling. If she can down this, then she's stronger than you. And then she just like turns around and just actually no, she keeps watching. She watches to see what happens next.
Wait, are we sharing one or am I getting my own?
Oh, I want you to have a little drop of one. A little tiny shot glass. If the bartender, if you could just make a little tiny one. Little tiny drop, please.
You want to get the second drink? Okay. So then again, she prepares it. You see that the same metallic shaker starts to heat up, and then as she pours this orange-brown liquid, and there's like a little bit of smoke popping up. This shot glass seems like a glass of water to you, Willow. It's a decent-sized drink for you.
Oh gosh. Okay. Okay.
Willow, to our fallen brothers, and I take it and I hit it against the table and I throw back the whole glass.
I'm gonna knock down the table. It touches a little bit, and I go, "What happens with this drink?"
Roll a new character. No, just kidding.
You guys both suddenly feel this hot, searing heat within you, and you're just like, whoo, I gotta burp, I gotta belch. I need you guys to roll me a Constitution saving throw.
I got a 9.
Okay.
Oh, 19.
Okay, so Ouija, you feel this burning sensation in your chest, and it oddly reminds you of when you were at the Fire Genasi Kingdom and they were using their cleric to mend your wounds. It was the same heat compress. It's oddly familiar and calming to you. So although it feels a bit harsh at the moment, you're like, okay. Not bad, not bad. Willow, you let out this giant belch, and as you do, a fireball starts to emerge from the fumes, and immediately Grena, the half-orc, snaps her fingers and casts Counterspell. You had just tried to let out a level 3 fireball, a 3rd level fireball with this drink, and she's like, should I have let that go on more? And then from the back right corner, you see these rugged men start to laugh, being like, "Ha! You gave a little halfling that? No way they could handle that type of brew." Coming down the stairs, we now see Aelin. So you are now coming into the bar scene, and from your perspective, you just kind of see just like a hallway, and going into the main room, there's a bunch of crowded farmers just drinking for the day, trying to drink off the harsh farming day that they had. And you see a Genasi, a little halfling, and an Aarakocra kind of perched in the back. But what do you do with this scene?
Yikes. Okay, so I come downstairs. I think I'm already thumbing through the book that I got off the bookshelf, just trying to like glean any information. I often have to focus on multiple things at once to keep myself sane. So I'm like actively reading as I'm walking around. So I don't think I'm necessarily paying too much attention. And I'm just kind of looking for like an open spot to kind of sit down and continue to read my book.
There's some space in this long table in the middle of the room. There's also some space by the Aarakocra that you see. If you would decide like where you'd like to go, Willow has also moved over, so there's a spot by the wall.
I think I'll go take the spot by the wall just because I don't like to have anything like... I like to have all my bases covered, so the less space around me I think is best.
I just want to say, after I burped out a fireball, I did say excuse me.
You did say excuse you.
Good manners, good manners.
Aye, a good-mannered humanoid. I appreciate that. I have to deal with these farmers all day. No manners, I swear. My name is Grena Brow, by the way, little halfling. Welcome to town. What brings you in?
Oh, well, I'm going for this, and I pull out this poster. I say, yeah, the missing person, she's my friend, and so I'm here to save her, so I'm just waiting for Mr. Thistle to cut down so I can go save her, and yeah, that's pretty much what I'm waiting for. Also, can I have a glass of water? That kind of burned.
Yes, you can.
I'm gonna look to my new friend now as well. I'm like, do you want a glass of water? You know, you bought me a drink. I'll buy you a drink if you want some water.
You know what? I'll take another ale.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Sure.
Not
I'll get an ale.
little less strong though this time, please.
Aelin kind of sits down and is like listening to this happening and just hears a little halfling go like, "Oh yeah, I want an ale too," and just kind of like gives them the biggest side eye, like, "What the freak is going on?"
Okay, so to make sure I have everything right, Willow, you want a water, or were you convinced to get an ale because of Weejube?
Oh no, I was gonna buy Wayjube's ale. But I
Okay.
am getting it.
You're getting a water. Okay,
If I'm
so
given an ale, I will politely push it away.
got it. Okay, so Grena looks at the poster and she kind of sets it down as she like pours out the ice and water for you. And she hands that to you and then starts pouring another boot beer for Weejube. And she says, it is really sad to hear that she disappeared. She was just here like 2 days ago. She talked about wanting to be a wizard. But having to live on the family farm it was an obligation to her. I don't really know her that well, but she comes in here to play the piano sometimes. But it is really courageous and ambitious of you, little one, to try and help her. I'm sure that Mr. Thistle will be here soon. He visits the tavern often. Okay, and Hannah, is there anything else that you want to do while these other adventurers are at the bar? Is there anything that you want to look for or?
I've been sitting in the corner, kind of watching all of this scene at the bar go down, and I decide that I want to, go over there and try this ale that made the little halfling belch a fireball.
Oh my god. Okay. So, intrigued by this sudden splendor of a giant fireball above this little 3-foot halfling, you're just like, I want to try that. So you head over to the bar, just kind of like behind the halfling and beside the high elf, and you're just like, I want to try that. I think I can handle it. And Gruna's just like, I don't have that many counter spells. If you're going to try it, you have to do it outside.
Okay, maybe I'll try something a little less strong.
What would you like? We have a good array of things here. We have the coup de grace, the hammer beer, the dripst, ginger ale, the Edos brew, which your little friend over here has been downing, and then Weejube has like the giant boot type beer, and just like, yes,
I recommend it.
The belch and rum, the fire breath ale, and then she kind of gives a side eye to like both Weejube and Willow. That's the one that they had. And then the pulley pincer, a great selection.
You know what? The ginger beer sounds great. That one sounds good.
Great. She then starts to prepare this little cocktail for you, and it is still a brew, but it's just in a very ornate kind of glass. So she presents it to you and just like, down the hatch.
And I proceed to pick it up, but I don't chug it like Weejube over here. I just take nice sips, and I'm just kind of sipping and observing the scene.
You over at the end, the book reader.
Yes.
Would you like to try a drink? Would you like to try this fireball thing that we've been trying?
I don't partake in alcoholic beverages.
What about a little bit of water with extra alcohol in it?
No, I'm okay. Thank you though.
Okay. Well, wait, what is your name though?
Who's asking?
Hi. Well, my name is Wedjube. I like lots of alcoholic drinks, as you can tell. And I just noticed you're reading a book and about what is the book about?
It's about the lapsus berry and its origin here.
Grena then pipes in, the lapsus berry! We have a lapsus berry pie if you guys would like to try some.
Oh, well, would you like that?
Aelin kind of perks up and she's like, yeah, I would take a slice of pie.
Well, I just see that there's a bunch of people here at the bar that we all seem to come from different places, and I love getting stories from different adventurers and such, having such adventures past, and it seems as though you're quite knowledgeable reading a book that I probably wouldn't even understand.
Oh, I hate to disappoint. I don't have much of a story, at least not one that I remember. I don't really know who I am or where I'm going, so I just picked a job and decided to go for it.
You're here for a job?
Yes. Yes, I am.
Wait, what about you, little halfling?
Yeah, I mean, that's the poster I pulled out. I'm here to save my friend. She went missing in the Forbidden Forest. I'm just waiting for Mr. Thistle to get here so, like, he can point me in the right direction.
And I kind of pull out my flyer from my pocket.
What about you, bird person?
It's
Why are you
Nav.
standing behind us right now, too? Why don't you pick up a seat?
It's Navi. Thank you for asking. And sure, I'll take a seat. I'm also here. I also have the same flyer. I'm just gonna pull it out from under my cloak. It's kind of all soggy, and I just like slap it on the table.
So as you guys are discussing this and recognizing that you are here for the same job, Navi, you are sipping at this drink, the ginger ale, and as you do so, with each like lick from your bird-like tongue, everyone around you like watches your feathers and they start to turn red. Your skin and your feathers start to then turn bright, vivid red, and this effect will last for 4 days.
Willow makes a comment. She's like, oh my gosh, your feathers are changing. Is that magic? Do you use magic?
And as you guys are starting to socialize a little bit more with one another, you see this elderly man come through the door and immediately approach the bar. And he kind of like shoves his way just directly in front of and in between the two of you. I think it's Willow and Navi. And with a shaken hand, he goes, "Has anyone come to answer my plea?"
Here. I'm right here. Do you remember me?
Willow, oh my god, what are you doing here? Are you here for the mission?
Of course, of course. I gotta save my friend. I would totally help you guys out. We've been best friends and family friends forever. That's why I'm here.
Oh, it's awful. She's gone missing. I don't know what to do. Do you have any other people with you, or is it just you? Sweetie, I don't think you could take this task on alone.
I mean, I have made 3 new friends, and I think
Have you?
I would help you.
I kind of peek my head around and I'm like, yeah, hi, yeah, I'm also here for that job.
Oh, a high elf. Welcome, hi. Well, welcome to town.
I lean back after drinking another ale, and I have the foam on my mouth going, hey.
Hi, are you here for the mission too?
Well, I can be.
My granddaughter's missing. Are you here to help her out?
Yeah, I haven't seen the poster for it. Someone I saw pulled it out. Is there some type of reward for this?
Willow slides the poster over to him.
Oh, and I read it. It says what, 50 gold? Is this 50 gold going to be split between the 4 of us? Because that's not that great.
The money's no concern. We're fine. If you need, we could try to manage 20 gold each. But I think that's all that we could offer. So, Mr. Thistle has now identified that the family friend Willow, Aelin, and Weejube are a part of are trying to help. Navi, at this point, do you say anything?
Yeah, I just kind of like tap Mr. Thistle very gently on the shoulder with one of my feathers, and I'm just like, "Hey, sir, I really need work. I've been looking for a long time, and I was just wondering if I could help them find your granddaughter too."
By all means, the more help, the merrier. As you exit Mud's Tavern, Mr. Thistle directs you west towards the exit of the small village, where the far distance is blurred by a thick, unwavering fog. As the buildings clear away and you leave Foxtrot Village, wet grasslands frame the beaten cobbled stone road, and a heavy, damp feeling looms over the party. Looking behind you, the town slowly fades into gray, and the stone beneath your feet becomes an uneven, worn dirt road. Continuing further, broken and rotted fence posts start to guide your path, the fields around you clearing to open grassland. At this point, everyone can make a perception, nature, or history check if they'd like. Willow and Aelin, you guys have proficiency, or not proficiency, but you have advantage on nature and history.
It's gonna be a 16 for me.
Okay.
In history.
14, okay.
And I've got a +2 on my perception, so... Oh. I got a 4 + 2, so I got 6.
11.
And then what role did you do, Aelin, for your role?
I did a history check.
You did history. Okay, so both Willow and Aelin had history. Cool. So for Navi and Weejube, as you guys are in the fog, you can only see dark pieces of like tree and shrubbery in the distance. There's nothing really finite that you can grasp around. You don't know if you're heading towards the forest already or in a random direction. You're lost in this fog, but you're following this little stout, wobbly Mr. Thistle, so you can only trust that he's leading you in the right direction. For Aelin and Willow, with your guys' history checks, Willow, you had been to Thistle Farms before. You were friends with Aleecia and had traveled to play in the orchard that was the Lapis Berry biome. So as the both of you look ahead, you start to see these luminescent small pearls start to shine through the fog, pulsing with a purple bluish tint. And with those perception checks, you can guess that you are nearing the farm. As you near the orchard, tall fruit-bearing trees break the fog, and you suddenly are surrounded by a canopy of 10-foot-tall trees. Beneath the serene biome, the once small specks of the blue, pulsing hues have now revealed themselves to be large, gourd-like fruit that hang from the tree canopy. As you plunge deeper into this colorful forest, the calm thrumming of the twinkling lights from the Lapis Berry remind you of the night stars. Breaking this tranquil scene, you hear the hardy workers doing their grunt work as you approach.
As we're just walking around and through like this fog, I'm gonna pick up my little Tempest, my little Griffin, and like put him on my shoulder so that he doesn't get lost.
But as you guys make it through this brush and greenery, you see that along the sides of this beaten path and broken fencing, there are large arcane crystals, and they pulse with this white-ish yellow light, and they seem to be acting as a type of barrier system. The berries that you had passed just now were still a decent size. I would say that they're maybe like a foot long and maybe like half a foot wide. But as you're approaching ahead, you see workers trimming back some thorny vines that look out of place and just like weeds, random weeds. But you suddenly hear this crash up ahead, and the grunt workers call out, "Oh shit! Oh shit! We broke one of them." So you guys see up ahead that a wagon cart with 3 workers has broken and damaged one of the arcane crystals. And to the right of the plot, you start to see that the Lapis berries are starting to pulse a dark orange yellow hue, different than the purple and blue that you saw before. And it seems to be getting faster with each pulse. Hearing the commotion, Mr. Thistle hobbles ahead of you to address the workers.
What are you doing? You broke one of the crystals! You shitheads! Why aren't you using the path? It's there for a goddamn reason!
Mr. Thistle, please calm down. We were just trying to work faster. We planted 3 seasons worth of Lapis berry, and they're all being harvested at the same time. We thought this could be a more efficient way.
Yeah, well, you numbskulls thought wrong, so now what are you gonna do about this harvest and the protection we need from it?
With the history checks that Aelin and Willow, you guys had before, that was on the Lapis berry, you would know that the Lapis berry is a 2-tiered type of gourd. The top tier is what attaches to the tree canopy, and when it comes time for it to be ripe and harvested, the top explodes with sharp seeds, and the bottom part is what is used for eating and cooking. So the gourd-like plants that you saw before were still growing. These ones are ready to be harvested, which means that they're about to explode. These arcane shields are used to help protect people from the oncoming seeds. What would you like to do?
Are we behind the barrier and they're like past the barrier where they're exposed?
So the
Barrier's broken now.
Yes. So the barrier right now, the broken crystal that's currently in front of these 2 workers is now malfunctioning, meaning that it will not put up an arcane barrier to protect the workers, you, Mr. Thistle, from this now pulsating orange and yellow Lapis berry. And the more you look at it, the more it seems to be a timer. The quicker these pulses, the sooner you believe this lapsus berry is ready to explode.
So first thing I do is I turn to Navi and Wajub and I yell at them to take cover. I was like, I know you two don't know what's going on, but just duck and cover, okay? And then I grab Mr. Thistle and pull out my shield to try to like block anything that could be coming at us.
Okay. Yep.
Check on the crystal that broke.
Yeah, you could do insight or arcana.
I got 12.
Okay, so for 12, you can identify that if you had either a mending spell or some form of protection that could either maintain 5 to 10 feet, you'd be able to temporarily block the seeds from like piercing anyone nearby. Because these seeds, the best description I can think of is that they are like goat heads.
Well, just after Aelin yells at me to go ahead and help take cover and such, I go ahead and grab Navi, and I just kind of turn her around away from the possibly exploding fruit, and I hold up my shield in front of her, like kind of wrapping around her, holding up with my shield up, just in case stuff pops off. Holy fuck! What's going on? You're scaring me. What's happening?
Can I start sprinting towards them? Okay, so so I'm a little confused by what broke. So crystal broke, so does the wagon have the berry that they were trying to harvest and were afraid it's gonna explode?
No, so the crystal did break. That's true. But on the wagon, there's just the bundled up and wrapped fruit that had already been harvested from the rows previous. The way that it's set up, it looks as though in waves of harvest, 3 rows would start to light up and need to be harvested, and they would explode. And as those would fall from the trees and then become harvested, the next 3 rows would start to light up and explode. So it's almost like a wave down the field, and it just so happens that these couple rows are now unprotected for the workers with the crystal being broken. So it's an operation system that things are constantly being harvested, and normally they do have a protection system readily available. But with this wagon bumping into and breaking the crystal, this section is now threatening to harm the workers and Mr. Thistle and you guys.
Okay. So I'm gonna ask the workers, like, do we need to get out of here? Do we need to evacuate? And do you need to take your wagon with you, or can you just ditch it?
Fuck the cart! We gotta get out of here!
After ducking cover for a second and realizing that nothing's going to explode right now, I stand up and act like I didn't just get scared shitless. And I say, how can I help?
So the fruit is pulsing faster, and Mr. Thistle offers this point of wisdom of you can tell when it's about to explode because the top part of the gourd turns vivid orange, like a pumpkin. But the berries are starting to pulse a lot faster right now. We're going to need a decision.
I'm gonna run up to the farmer at the top and just kind of cover him with my wings.
I've grabbed Mr. Thistle.
Okay, awesome. So I'm going to run up with Willow and help her get the 2 workers.
Okay. I'm gonna have you do a strength check to see if you can lift these men. Because are you guys trying to cover them or like push them? What specifically are you trying to do when you're there?
I'm trying to grab the guy directly in front of me, like closest to this stuff here.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm trying to grab onto him and then either jump over the cart, just the other side, kind of closer to where Navi is, or onto the other side of the barrier completely.
I'm going to need you to make an athletics or acrobatics check in order to get over the wagon. So that's going to be...
I have a 17 plus 4, so I have a 21.
Okay, well... Thank God you're holding him because he got a 2. You bound off of this broken crystal onto the wagon. You're pulling the farmer with you, and you're able to duck behind the wagon over here with the farmer in hand. Willow, what would you like to do?
If the other farmer also ducks behind the wagon, is there enough space for everyone to get behind? Still be protected?
Yes, it's only partial protection, but it's a lot better than being completely exposed in the walkway.
Okay, so my game plan is, let me know if you think this would work at all. I was going to encourage the farmer to duck behind the wagon, and then if there's any seeds that come at us, can I use Firebolt to try and burn the seeds before we get?
Ooh, I like it. Yes. Okay, so you're gonna try and persuade the farmer to go behind the cart. You don't gotta tell me twice. And he just jumps and slides under the wagon.
Yeah, so I'm kind of gonna be ducking behind the wagon with them, but also
Okay.
partially out in the open so I can fire a bolt if I need to.
Got it. Okay, so as you guys are persuading everyone to move, Ouija, you take him into your arm, and you're just like bolting over top of the wagon and just like diving on the other side. Navi, you have your beautiful now red wings around one of the farmers, and you're also ducking behind the wagon. Aelin, you have your shield up and ready to protect Mr. Thistle in the open field. And Willow, you are on the offense just in case if any seeds try to come by. So everyone, I want you to roll for me a Constitution saving throw. That is a D20. I'm rolling for the farmers.
That's going to be a 19 for Aelin.
A 15 for Navi.
That's a 4. Why'd you?
I got a 17.
I'm going to say that, Willow, you had a reaction planned in order to cast this, so go ahead and make an attack roll. What happens is that these gourds start to pulse this bright orange and yellow color until it becomes completely just a vivid color, and suddenly you see this explosion of both squash innards and spiky seeds everywhere. And as this happens, Willow casts Firebolt and completely singes the seeds, saving everyone at the party, keeping everyone safe. So congrats, Willow.
So how long do we have before the next exploding fruit?
So as everyone recovers, the farmers kind of like make their way like back around the wagon and kind of look to Mr. Thistle, who's being shielded by Aelin, and they're like, "Sorry about that, boss. I know we're not supposed to have the wagon over here, but the lapsus berry's been really finicky recently. These stupid vines have been cutting away the nutrients for them. We're hardly getting the same number of lapsus berries we got last month, heck." And Mr. Thistle kind of pops out from Aelin's shield, and he's like, "I understand, but we cannot rush progress. We need to find someone to mend this crystal before the next harvest, but I understand the reasoning. But gosh darn it, be more careful." And then he...
Aelin at this moment, like, puts her shield away, and she's, like, fuming. She's like, how dare you not only put our lives in danger, but Mr. Thistle's? Are you daft? You've never taken the cart onto the wrong side of the fence before, but you choose today to do that. Are you crazy?
What do you expect us to do? We're paid for the amount of lapsus berries that we can harvest, and if these stupid vines are restricting how much lapsus berry we get, our pay is cut.
Does your pay matter if you are dead?
So they kind of like, they catch themselves, and then they kind of like look down. Or give me persuasion. Roll for persuasion.
Ooh, that's gonna be a 21.
Dang, okay, they got an 11. So these rugged men just kind of like look at you like, "Oh, you high elf, what do you know about hard work and labor?" But then they just kind of like fall into themselves and begrudgingly say, "You're right. We shouldn't be trying to cut corners. It's just hard when you're working in the field. But I know I can't risk my life or anyone else's for some quick harvest. We're sorry."
As long as you've learned your lesson, I think that's an acceptable answer.
He kind of gives a nod and just kind of like, "Okay, guys, okay, boys, we got another couple rows to harvest. Let's do it right this time. Mr. Thistle, if you know anyone that can help repair this crystal, I know we got a couple months until the next harvest, but better do it now than later. I don't know how long these lapsus berry trees are gonna last with this stupid asphyxiating vines. Where are they coming from?" And then they start to just kind of banter amongst themselves, and they just go into the field to start collecting the now fallen lapis berry fruit. Mr. Thistle kind of like looks over to you guys and asks,
Listen, I'm sorry they caused you so much trouble, but to thank you for helping me and my idiot crew, would you like some lapis berry? They're fresh from the vine.
Willow says yes.
I know, Willow, you love Mrs. Thistle's famous pie.
Giving you a little wink, Willow, Mr. Thistle goes over to the wagon and uncovers through the bags these supple, large, pumpkin-shaped gourds. And from the exploded tops, it looks as though it's a flower. And the inside looks like a combination of oranges and mango. It just looks like the most supple fruit you'd ever seen. And he takes it with him and continues along the path towards the Thistle estate.
You come across this small, quaint cottage where the now dirt road has turned back into this cobblestone. It's a nice, adorable little cottage with a chimney from the back and multiple windows exposing light into the little home. And surrounded by this lush area is some healthy forested deciduous trees. So Mr. Thistle takes you into the house and tells you, "Okay, I'm gonna go get Mrs. Thistle and see if she's healthy enough to speak to y'all. But please make yourself at home. We have a fresh roast on the oven, and I'm sure that Mrs. Thistle would like to bake up this freshly harvested thistleberry for you. Right back." What would you guys like to do while he finds and coordinates with Mrs. Thistle?
Well, I'd like to thank Willow for essentially kind of saving me using her fireball because that was extremely impressive. And then I'd also kind of like take a seat after all that craziness if I can move over just to the table and invite everyone else over.
Okay, so Weejib, you take a seat at the table, and you notice that there's like some fresh roast and soup available for everyone. It looks as though they made a feast for the possible guests that they'd be having in order to go over the details of what had happened. To provide you guys any insight as to where Aleecia could have gone, her last whereabouts, and anything else you guys may need. But yeah, so is there anything else you guys want to do?
Aelin will follow Weejib over and sit down at the table. And you said there was roast on the table, just a little bit?
Yeah, roast and soup.
Does it look like we can start eating this now, or should we wait?
Start eating all
Whatever
kinds
you
of
guys
food.
would like.
I mean, I'll pour her some soup. That sounds kind of nice right now.
I was gonna say, Willow walks up, like, she acts like this is her second home. Like, she's very comfortable. And she just sits at the table. She's like, y'all, that was my first time doing a firebolt, and I'm so glad it worked this time because, like, normally it doesn't work out, and whew, and she just starts grabbing all this food and, like, starting to stuff her face with it.
So
Well, you made a nice fireball at the bar after that drink.
Well, that wasn't intentional, and that wasn't my magic.
Aelin just kind of looks impressed because, and she says, "That was your first time using firebolt?"
Successfully, yes.
Successfully. Oh, okay. I could never get a handle on arcane magic, hence why I became a paladin. But that's impressive. I'm impressed.
I'm just saying I was beaming under all the praise.
Navi's just gonna kind of like wander around the room and just like, observe the surroundings. And I think I'm just gonna end up perching right in front of the fire and warming up for a little bit.
okay, did you want to do like a perception or investigation check? Because you're more than welcome to.
Yeah, I'll do a perception check.
Also, Willow, as you entered the premises, you noticed that your hair started to change into a dark auburn color.
Okay.
And it kind of reminds you of the same hair of Aleecia.
Oh. Okay.
So I got a 19.
Okay. So, as you perch over by the fireplace, Navi, you kind of look around. You see in the back room, there's a lot of like spices and containers. What you notice is that there are a lot of lapis berry seeds just kind of sprinkled everywhere. Like people tried, like it looked as though Mr. and Mrs. Thistle tried to package and clean up all the seeds from harvest, but there's still some remnants of it. And you also see a small room with the door ajar in the back part of the house. You can't tell what is inside though. With a 19, you just kind of look around this large open room, and it's quite simplistic. The structure of the house seems to be a lot more sturdy, and it doesn't reflect the same presence and I guess decay that the rest of the town is currently like. The town is currently like rotted and kind of beaten down, but this place is very well kept and kind of out of harm's way, which is peculiar. So as you guys are sitting down to eat, Mr. and Mrs. Thistle exit their bedroom. Mr. Thistle is holding on to Grandma Thistle. He's holding on to her and keeping her steady. By the looks of it, she looks very sick, very old, and it seems as though time has finally caught up to her, and that she's just very pale in complexion and very weak from standing. But she looks to you all and goes, "Hello. Please eat the roast and the soup. I made sure to have enough for 12 adventurers. Anyone who could help us find our granddaughter. I appreciate you all taking the time to do this quest. I hear we have a freshly new harvested lapis berry. I could make us some pie."
So Willow's face gets a little somber when she sees like how sickly Marge looks. So she immediately jumps up and she's like, "I'll help you make the pie."
Willow! Oh, I never thought I'd see your adorable face again. Oh, I wish our reuniting was on better circumstances, but you know Aleecia. You know her well. I'm sure you'll be able to find her and rescue her. So I appreciate you being here. I didn't know you were an aspiring adventurer.
Yeah, this is my first adventure, and I mean, what a better one to start on than saving my best friend.
Your mother always told me you had a fixation with magic. Did you dye your hair?
Not exactly. It just sometimes this color just looks better on me, so it just kind of happens. So yeah.
Oh, very nice. I won't question it, but I would love some help in the kitchen making this lapis berry pie. So, Mr. Thistle leads her over to the kitchen, and then, Willow, I'll have you, come over and help her. So once it seems that they are situated, Mr. Thistle comes, to the middle of the room to address all of you and asks you, "So do you have any questions? Where do I begin?
Aleecia is our granddaughter, but she has no mother, and her father hasn't been in connection with her since she was born. Her mother was an adventurer who fell in love with an elven man. Shortly after she was born, we never saw him again. No letters, no questions about his own daughter. And soon our daughter, Aleecia's mother, went out to find him. Perhaps the commitment was too much for him, but she was going to bring him back, God damn it. But she never returned either. So, Grandma and I raised Aleecia ourselves. And with our daughter missing, dead, just can't even fathom it, we need Aleecia to uphold the Thistle Farm and stay here. But she's always wanted to be a wizard. She's wanted to be an adventurer, and me and Grandma Thistle don't know why. She saw what had happened to her family, what it caused. but she was adamant. She had this nonsensical idea to go to Terrantel University, but back when I knew it, it was only elves that got to go there and attend. So I don't know where she got in her mind that a half-elf could go, but she has a duty to be here on this farm. Her mother couldn't live up to that task. She chose love and a backstabbing husband, baby daddy, whatever you call it, instead of family. And if Aleecia goes down that path, Thistle Farms will be no more. Aleecia is the last person of our family. We need someone to hold the farm. As you saw in the bar, there are very selfish people in Foxtrot Village, and we can't trust anyone to maintain such a large plantation of lapis berry. This orchard is all our family has. We must get her back to help maintain it.
So, Mr. Thistle, where's the last place that you remember seeing your daughter? Can you tell us about like anything that you know of, like why she would be missing?
In the backyard, we have a greenhouse, and Aleecia was always equally as transfixed as Willow about magic. She was particularly interested in the lapis berry and its odd exploding components. So she would be in the greenhouse, and I'd catch her every couple times. More recently, she would just stand and stare at the forbidden forest, as though in a trance. And one day she was gone.
Did she ever tell you what she was looking at or what she was feeling?
Mr. Thistle kind of like gets a bit flustered at the question. Well, she's always talking about becoming a wizard and wanting to go to that high elven University of Terrantel. Only high elves get in there. There's no way they'd accept a half elf. I only assumed that she was just daydreaming of crossing the Forbidden Forest to go to the University of Terrantel in Nuvendale.
University's on the other side of the Forbidden Forest. That's why you thought that she was like staring out there?
Correct. So map-wise, Foxtrot Village is kind of framed by this crescent forest, and it serves as a barrier between Foxtrot and then the high elven society where the university is. But between them is this forest line, which happens to be the Forbidden Forest. She was always trying to convince us that through these magical studies that she could help us on the farm, but dedicating time away from the farm could mean that we die while she's away, and who knows who could take the farm while she's gone. We need her to stay.
I will do an insight check.
Not one from Aelin on insight.
I
think Aelin's just upset that they're bad talking like the High Elven University. So she's just upset.
Yeah, that makes sense. I had 20 plus 4, so I have 24.
Oh, did you get a nat 20?
Nat 20?
Yes.
Oh, that's like ultra success. Well done. Okay, Willow, what'd you get?
I got 13.
Okay, and then Navi, are you doing anything at this moment?
I was wondering, while they're all caught up in conversation and Willow is cooking with the grandma, could I sneak off and investigate that room in the back with the door slightly cracked open?
Yeah, give me a stealth check.
17.
Awesome. Okay, Navi, you entered this room. Give me an investigation check.
That is a 10.
Okay, so with a 10, you can see in the room that there is a desk with various literature and letters strewn on it. It seems as though there are multiple messages that this half-elven girl, Aleecia, was trying to write to some elf in Nuvendale, but they kept getting returned to her. There are a lot of unopened letters that in a similar situation in this case would be like return to sender. So they weren't even opened. They never reached where they were supposed to. The bed is neatly made in the corner, and you see a lot of books on magic, lapis berry, the arcane facts, and if you'd like, you can do another investigation check specifically on the bookshelf if you'd like. On the floor, you see these scriptures about the Genasi and how the lapis berry has similar qualities to that of like those that possess elemental power.
Right, I'm gonna do an investigation on the bookshelf.
Okay, go ahead.
So that's another 10.
Another 10? Okay.
Yeah.
Roll me a d6.
2.
A 2. Okay, so you look at the shelf and you see a little pamphlet. It's not paperback, and it just looks like it's stapled together or woven with needle and thread at the end to kind of keep the pages together. But it is a literary dissertation titled The Great Banishment, an Act of Kindness or War, written by a historian, Leandra Roferin, and an archaeologist, Tavern Moore. What would you like to do?
You know what? I'm gonna take it, and I'm just gonna kind of hide it under my cloak for my book-loving friend to read later.
Oh, okay, very nice. I'm going to quickly do the insight checks first, and then we'll get to you again. So for these insight checks, I believe there was a 17, a nat 20.
I got a 13.
13, a nat 20, and then a nat 1. Okay, so
Yeah, don't forget my nat 1. It's very important.
Aelin
important.
immediately gets triggered as soon as he starts talking poorly of the high elves, and she just kind of disassociates and just kind of like looks at her food. But for Willow, you get the sense that Mr. Thistle is a very traditional type of man, that things are only done properly if done his way and the family's way. So he does not trust anyone else to run the farm to the same standard or structure that he and his wife have created here in this environment. You also know, because you are in trade with the Thistle family, that negotiations between produce, cattle, dairy products, everything like that is very fixed. Like, there's little wiggle room. So a change in management could cause a lot of ripples in trade around the country. And although you may feel and know that based on how stressed you see your parents at the shop, Mr. Thistle just seems like someone who is very concerned about the way things are ran and is less likely to waver. Like he's very prompt in what he knows, and he believes it to be right, and that this family deserves this farm. This family specifically. So for Rejub, with your nat 20, you can hear this tone coming from Mr. Thistle. He thinks very low of the elves for abandoning his granddaughter here on the farm, causing his own daughter to die, and the fact that they continue to research the lapis berry without properly funding the town that it comes from. He is very angry at this idea of his granddaughter wanting to join or be a part of something that is very, very isolating and not even absorbent. It's just more like prioritizing. So you get the sense that he does not like a lot of other like high elven races, and he believes that this farm is necessary for all of Terrantel. If it were to fall apart, everything would turn to chaos. And you know as a Genasi that there is some magical aspect to this berry that you can recognize but can't place your finger on. Willow and Mrs. Thistle have finished making the pie, so they bring it over to you guys at the table, and Mrs. Thistle takes a seat because she's pretty frail, and she starts to serve it to you guys. So you guys take a bite of this lapis berry pie. It is the most sweet flavor you've ever tasted. It is a combination of mango and strawberry with a little bit of blueberry. Navi, I'm guessing that at this point you came over to the table?
Yeah, I'm gonna sneak back to the table and grab myself some pie.
Perfect. Okay. So you're all just kind of sitting down and enjoying this piece of pie, but it's intriguing that you guys can still see the pulsing magic energy within it. That there's still pieces of illuminating orange and purple and blues in the pie. And for everyone that ate the pie, you guys now have advantage on your next attack roll.
Ooh.
Okay. How much pie is left? I asked Miss Thistle.
Oh, there's plenty of pie. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. There's 4 slices left.
If you wouldn't mind, would I be able to take those with me? In like once we leave here, just so we have some food on the road for us.
Oh, of course, of course. So she asks Mr. Thistle to go get some containers for you to take the pie with you, and they hand it to you in like little like wooden totes. There's always more if you come back to the farm.
Willow's ready to go.
What time is it right now?
So you all met at the tavern around like late afternoon, and you guys traveling to the Thistle residence, it's probably like early evening. So I would say like maybe like 4 or 5 o'clock.
Okay. Well, I'm set to go. I feel like we haven't really exerted too much of ourselves. I think that we're good to go. Or at least I'm good to go.
So, Mr. Thistle helps to clean up the table, and he says with a warning tone to everyone,
A word of warning, young adventurers. That forest is no small task. I believe that not only have our Lapsusberry farms grown deep within the soil, but their roots have also spread wide. And whatever trickery, mystery these Lapsusberries possess, I believe a part of it has also been hidden in that forest. You beware when you go in. But do your best, please, to find our granddaughter. Bring her home. And I wish you a safe venture.
And it is here, everyone, that we are going to end episode 1, part 1. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day, evening, or night. Thank you so much for listening. Bye, Sprouts.